In this video, we're going to look at how to configure filters and use them as part of our process analysis. We're going to go to filters in the lower left-hand corner, and we currently don't have any filters, so we're going to go ahead and add our first filter. And there's different types of filters you can add. You can add case level filters, you can add event level filters. We're going to start by adding an case level filter to filter just the completed cases. So this is useful if you want to make sure that if one started before you were collecting or didn't end before you stopped collecting, that you have a complete process that you're analyzing. So we're going to go ahead and choose end event, which kind of gives us a jump start. It already sets us up with a filter that is called end events. The filter includes activities, and then it's set up to point to what are the starting events of a single case and what are the finishing events. And you can see over here on the right that it has selected what the possible starting events are. I'm going to go ahead and, for the purposes of our exercise, go ahead and take all of those as starting events. Then I'm going to move on to the finishing events. When I select that, it gives me a list. I'm going to allow PO accept, approve, finally close, and reject to be my ending events. And then I'm going to apply my filter. Now, a key thing to notice down here at the bottom as I get ready to apply this is my cases have reduced from 100%, which was my original universe from the event log that I processed, to 31% based on my filtering. So we now have that on there. Now, a couple things to note about this. If we go back into filters, you'll see that it is enabled. You can temporarily turn this off, apply that, and go about your analysis without that particular filter on. And then you can come back, turn that on. You can also rename it, which is a good idea. So you'll notice here it just is end events. I can double click on that and go ahead and change the name, for example, to completed cases. Go ahead and save, apply. And now that is there as I want to use it. So now that we have this filter for completed cases, let's build an additional filter. Let's look at any cases where a PO was created without a purchase requisition being created beforehand. So what I'm going to do to accomplish this is I'm going to go add another filter. I'm going to go to cases, attributes. I'm going to go into here and I'm going to choose to include activities. This one is going to be PO create. Let's rename this first to be PO create. And then we're going to add another one to check for a purchase requisition not being completed. So this one we're going to change the filter result does not include. And on here we're going to look up the values and we're going to do a requisition created on there. Again, we'll go ahead and rename this requisition not created. And so these build on each other, and so you can turn completed cases off. You could turn in either of these off. We could build additional ones. So this is how you kind of build these up. Now, when you get a subset that you want to keep and have be repeatable, what you can do is you can come up and you can do a save as of the view and create a view that represents completed cases that have a purchase order created that did not have a purchase requisition created.
We know that many of the top ideas submitted are tied to the overall claims to settlement process, and the internal claims management system is where we can find most of the relevant activities. Activities data from that system is being loaded into their company's Azure Data Lake instance as part of their ETL jobs. With Power Automate Process Mining, we can easily connect to this data. We can see that in the Data Lake connector, the activity log files are updated each day, and each file corresponds with the activities in that day. Using the Data Lake feature, we can easily connect to all of the existing and future activities by connecting directly to the folder, where we see the Process Mining Copilot automatically analyzes the folder and the data structure within the folder to provide us with insights into the data, which is great when you have lots of data in your lake and you want to ensure that you've selected the right data set for analysis. Not only can it tell me the process and the relevant activities, but I can also ask additional questions about the data to understand the columns, the data types of key columns, and if there are any empty values to assist in checking data quality. Once we have checked the data set, I can proceed to the mapping step, where I can either manually map the data to the required fields for process mining or use the mapping suggestions from Copilot based on the discovered process.